a major, major L.
No one talks about the betrayal. The people that you help, sometimes they hurt you the worst. You don't change your heart and you say who you are, you won.
That's good. Facing the toughest challenge of your life.
Battling with childhood trauma, getting evicted from my house. You can be up 1 minute and you can be down the next. You're just like, God, why am I going through this?
Ronnie, you were super spicy. Sometimes it'd be like, yo, who's she talking to?
I do not negotiate. People gonna try to get over on you. We have to move a little slower with putting people in front of our audiences, because you gotta go back and clean it up after the fact.
Girl, first of all, like, God will literally blow your mind.
I did not think that my podcast would be successful. I look up and my show is top 200 in the US at entrepreneurship. My personal life, my person is gonna take care of me. I am a loved woman.
What? Welcome to another episode of Full Transparency with Donnie Wiggins, where we talk all things entrepreneurship and the cool things that are happening behind the scenes with the entrepreneurs who are doing the entrepreneuring. You guys, in full transparency, we've had to start this episode over like 3 times.
Donnie has been in here cutting up, y'all.
Because I am over here acting a complete fool.
Acting a fool.
That leads me to my sister, my friend, my sister in success, Miss Ronne Brown. You are all the things. Influencer. You are 18, Mom.
We're not even going to let them know.
We're not even going to let them know tell them why that is so funny. Businesswoman, boss. You are the founder of your very own skincare line, which I have to know exactly how you did that. But also, like, out here being known as the leader of the girl CEOs. We have the girl CEO herself, Miss Ronne Brown, in the building today. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. Hey, girl CEOs.
Hey. Girl CEOs, actionable CEOs. We just over here CEOing and stuff.
Just CEOing, you know.
Yes. So we literally had to start this over, but I was sharing with you when we got our false start the last time that I was so happy and thankful the first time you and I met, which was probably about 7 years ago at this point.
It was actually probably 8 years ago.
About 8 years ago. We were both you were on your end. I think you had exited the network.
I have exited, yeah.
You exited the network marketing
like
industry.
2 years out.
And I was kind of at the height, but it was the down cycle was approaching. Yeah. And I was like, what should I do? Because you had been in this game a little longer than me. And when we locked eyes at this event, I wasn't sure how we would receive each other because, it's not common a lot for people who are 2 leaders kind of known in the same industry to just hit it off organically. It's common for me, but it's not common for everybody. Yeah. And I was really nervous to meet you, but you were so warm and welcoming.
Girl, I was like, get over here.
Get over here. Let's hug each other. Let's hug each other. Let's love each other. But you also set me straight that day.
Yeah, because I knew. First and foremost, let me just say, I think we all have our seasons. Mm-hmm. And I think that direct sales is like a really good space for training and experience. Mm-hmm. And once you get your training and once you get your experience, you have to know when it's time for you to bet on you. Mm-hmm. And I think you were doing amazing at that time. You were making really good money. Mm-hmm. I had been in the industry for years and I had decided to walk away and to build my own brand, but you started getting the tug. Yeah. And I always talk to women about the tug. Mm. The tug is when you're supposed to be doing something and you're being pulled, and you keep fighting it. Mm-hmm. And you were just like comfortable at that moment because the coins was coming in.
The coins were coming.
But in your spirit, you knew that it was time for you to do your thing. And you came to me and I said, Donnie, it's time for you to come up out of this shell and be that girl.
Not even knowing that was the message that I needed. Like, I needed that. And I believe this is such a pivotal point. It's such an appropriate point to start this conversation, because one of the questions that I get asked a lot is like, how do you know? How do you know when it's time to like move on from something to grow? How did you know? How do you know?
Conviction is real. Mm-hmm. I don't care how much money you making. I don't care the lavish life you're living. You can have the big house, a fancy car. When you have a call on your life, and it's time for you to walk in your purpose, you are going to feel convicted. And I'll tell you a little bit about that. Even me, I was in direct sales, making over 6 figures a month. And everyone looking at me probably thought that I had it all together. Everything was perfect. But deep down inside, I would literally go home, call my best friends, and I would be like, it's time. Yeah. It's time. Like, I'm feeling this in my spirit. I know that this is what I'm supposed to do, and I'm not doing it, and I'm just not feeling good. And I need to build my own thing. God is telling me this. I'm dreaming about it. I'm talking about it. He won't let you live. Like, he won't give you that peace that you want. When I say let you live, I mean, like, literally, mentally, it will keep coming back to you. You'll feel convicted. You will know when your time is up. And I just want every entrepreneur to know this. There is a season for everything. And we get into things thinking that everything is forever, and it's not. It's for the experience. It's for the training, right? And then we have to go on to the next thing, and we can't fight that. Some of us are fighting that. Some of y'all fighting that right now. Yeah. Because the money is there. You're comfortable.
I'm speaking like them. Ronne, I hear you, but I make good money. I can pay my bills. I can travel when and if I want to. Why would I mess this up right now?
Because purpose is so much bigger than that. And the money, the travel, that's just the stuff, right? But the emptiness that you feel, that can't feel the emptiness that you are going to feel. You have to walk in your purpose. You have to do what you are called to do, and the stuff isn't going to fill that void. Yeah, it's not.
How do you know when it's purpose? It's not passion. It's not the thing of now. It's not the thing of next, but it's purpose. How do you know?
I think you learn that through servantship. And we don't talk a lot about servantship because everybody's like a boss now, right? Yes. So no one likes the word serve because it makes you feel like you're an underdog. But for me, I serve my way to success. And when you serve your way to success, you help people. Like, Donnie, you help a lot of people, right? And when you start to help people, your purpose will be revealed to you. People will say, girl, like, you are good at this. Like, you have a gift. And some of you who are watching this right now, you've had people come to you. People have said, this is what you're supposed to do. You're really good at it, and you're ignoring it. Yeah. So after a while, after you serve enough people, people are going to start sharing your name, your information, your website, your service. Girl, go call this person. Like, she's the best at this. It will just start working for you. And you can fight it because you're over here making this money, but then you're going to have to transition.
Let's talk about the fight. So I have personal experience attached to the fight. Being good at so much. One of the things that were difficult for me early on, and I'm sure you can relate to this, is that you can do whatever you put your mind to do, right, into doing. My father taught me the ability of critical thinking at a very young age. And so I believe that's a really, really, really important life skill, is to have the ability to critically think. When you know how to critically think, however, when there's a problem presented, you know how to break it down into its simplest form and figure some stuff out. That said, I grew up being good at so many things. I wanted to, and I've done all the businesses, all the things. If it was legal, maybe even a little sketchy.
You've done it.
I've done the things. And my mom has told me all my life, she's like, she calls me Nitra. My full name is Denitra. She calls me Nitra. She's like, Nitra, your gift is communication. Your purpose is connected to communication. And I'm like, Mama, don't nobody want to talk, write, think, these things. And she thought that I would end up being a journalist, right? And I ran from the idea of being a journalist because I looked up the salary and they just didn't make any money. And I'm like, my purpose can't be connected to being like paid at that level at that time. This is, years ago. And she's like, since you were 3 years old, you've been gifted at communication. And I fought from it. I thought it would be engineering. I thought I would own clothing stores. I'd be the next wardrobe stylist, wardrobe stylist. And to circle back and have amassed my greatest success via using my voice, communication, written material, courses, direction, instruction, coaching, consulting, my own form of journalism by way of entrepreneurs. She was right the whole time.
Mama knew.
She knew.
Can we start listening to our mamas?
Early. First of all, let's put it out there. Can anybody in the age range of their 20s right now, I'm not saying that I'm talking to my daughter, but
Okay.
can we start listening to our moms?
Yeah, because sometimes they tell us things that we don't want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And in the moment, we're like, you know, and then you look back 10 years later, 15 years later, and you're like, man, my mama was right about everything.
About everything. I could not fathom, like, pursuing anything in communication just as a category seems so boring to me. Like, that's boring. I don't want to do that. And I couldn't figure out for the life of me how you would create success, like at a high level from it. I always knew that I would be successful, though.
Yeah.
Did you always know?
I always knew. I was a janitor, mopping floors, cleaning toilets, changing beds at Georgetown University Hospital in D.C. And I was like, this is just a pit stop. It's not my final destination. I'm going to be somebody. I just had to do this first so that I can go through this experience. I can be humbled. I can see what's really important. I needed to see these people in here sick. I needed to see these people on their deathbeds. I needed to see all these multimillionaires on their deathbeds in the hospital dying, so I can see what was priority to them on their deathbed. It was not the money.
What was it?
It wasn't the car. It wasn't the vacation. It was family. It was love. The thing that people tend to sacrifice for the stuff. But on their deathbeds, they weren't asking for, where my house, where my car. Okay, house is cute. Got it. Car is cute. Vacations are cute. They were asking for their family, loved ones. That is what mattered during the last days. And I needed to see that, because now, like, I'm really big on following my goals, but I'm not going to do it at the expense of my family.
Let's talk about that, because let me ask you, how big of a company will Holistic and Girl CEO be? How big do you want to build this?
They're going to be billion-dollar brands.
Okay, hold on. I'm not willing to sacrifice the quality of life with my family.
I'm not.
But I'm building a billion-dollar brand.
I am.
Who's done that? Who have we seen that's laid down the evidence that this can be done at a high level like this, and I'm still very in tune with my family?
You know what I think? I think it's the people that we do not see that are doing it.
Okay.
And that's because when you have systems in place and you don't want to be the face of your brand, and you want to be able to enjoy your life, you realize that if you continue going down that rate of your face has to be plastered over everything, you know, you got to be the person in front of it. How can you ever pull away from that?
I like that.
So I think it starts there.
Okay.
You know, one of the things that I've been really intentional about, even with my beauty brand, is like a lot of people don't even know that's my beauty brand, because I'm not on every marketing commercial. I'm not, you know, all over every picture or video. And for a very long time, I did not put my face on it. And then my team was like, hey, you know, just do a little photo shoot one day when we launched our new skincare packaging. I'm like, okay, but I don't want to get to the point where it's me and only me, because once people get comfortable seeing you and only you, they don't even want to see a model. They don't even want to see a regular person. They only want you.
They only want you. Okay, we have to back up just a little bit, because you've done so much. We talked about direct sales.
Absolutely.
From direct sales, you just had this epiphany that there's more, right?
Absolutely.
What was that next step for you?
So the next step for me was Girl CEO. And the reason why I wanted to do that was because I wanted to create a space for the women that I had met along the journey. I needed a mentor. I needed to be the woman that I wish I had when I was going through that journey of success. Back in the day, we had a community called High Heels, High Goals. That was actually Girl CEO. We launched it in 2013. Y'all look at the hashtag, Google it, High Heels, High Goals. You look at it, we did brunches, all in DC. We had a membership community back in 2014, 2013. It was myself and my best friend, Jennifer Tyler. Shout out to my bestie. And that was what like our life was around. We wanted to build women up. We transitioned, changed the name over to Girl CEO in like 2016, 2017. And we started to grow that. I wanted to educate women based on the success that I had in direct sales, but teaching them how to do it in their own business model. That was really, really important to me, and that's exactly what I did. After that, I'm like, okay, I got to do what I got to do. It's time. I want to launch my product line. I had spent 7-8 years selling other people's products and making 15% commission. I had put about 100,000 customers in the system based on my network. I had over 30,000 sales reps all over the world. And I realized like God had more for me. It was time for me to help people operate in their own lane, in their own purpose, versus saying, hey, you got to come over here and sign up for this to do that.
What prompted you to rebrand High Heels, High Goals to Girl CEO?
Yeah. So what happened was we actually, shout out to my accountant.
Okay.
She was like, you need to give back, give back. I was just donating to women. She's like, no, you got to make this a real thing. You got to make this like a real thing. You want to be able to give back and not just give people money. Cause I would just write a check like, hey girl, here's $500, go get your website done. This is like 9 years ago, 10 years ago. Back in the day, you can get a website for $500. All right. Now it's like 5,000
for sure. If you want it done
if
right.
You want it
like
done right. And she's like, okay, we need to create a foundation. So right now, my nonprofit organization is High Heels, High Goals. It's our nonprofit organization. And then we needed to do a for-profit side to the business, which would be like an educational platform and things of that nature. So we did the two. We launched our first product through Girl CO, which was our planner, our Girl CO planner. It went really, really well. That was like a big thing.
I had that planner.
You had the planner?
I had the planner.
Yeah, we had our first planner. And I really wanted it to be a big stationery brand. And we just grew it from there. I started to do events. We were already doing like local events, but I wanted to do them in like different areas. So we started to like travel, do big events for women. Women were coming out. I think at that time, people wanted to get out of the house, and it just took off from there. We did our monthly classes. I look back now and I'm like, we were using, what is that website? Not Shopify, but it's like for more like blogging.
Oh, yeah. Not Wix. What's the
Not
what's
Wix.
the site?
It's
I know what you're talking about though.
What
because
is it?
I had a blog on it called So Juicy Baby.
Oh, So Juicy Baby.
So Juicy Baby girl. I thought we were trying to do what the Shade Room does today. Yes.
Okay.
It was all the juice, all of
WordPress.
WordPress. Yeah.
So we had our membership community running through WordPress.
Okay.
Shout out to everybody who was a member of High Heels, High Goals back in the day.
WordPress is still a thing.
Yes,
too.
Exactly. And it just started to grow and
Yeah.
evolve. So we still have our nonprofit organization. We donate to women all the time through that organization. And now we have, the for-profit arm.
Yeah. It's so important to have professionals around you.
Absolutely.
Because without that financial guidance, you still be operating out of your pocket, essentially.
I respect my accountant so much just because she has like 20 years in the game. She's debt free. She has no debt. And I just really respect that. She taught me so much about making good decisions with my money when I first started. Because of course, when you initially start making money, you do some real dumb stuff.
What's the dumbest thing you've done with your money? Your new money. You got this new money. New money. What's the silliest thing you've done with your money?
Craziest thing I did when I initially started making money, started rolling in the dough. Making your first 100,000 plus a month.
In a month. That first 100 grand in a month, you've hit the jackpot.
The dumb thing that I did, I think going to buy Louis Vuitton, Gucci, and Chanel without having stock in those companies was the dumbest thing that I did.
Yeah.
So now if I go buy that kind of stuff, I'm like, okay, I need to go buy some shares of this stock. All right. Like I need to go Hennessy, Louis, I need to be invested in these companies. And I will never forget, I went to go see my accountant and she was like, okay, you went to Louis Vuitton, you went to Gucci, you in here. She was like, so show me the stock that you have in this company. And I was like, stock?
Why would I have stock?
Why would I have stock? I had no clue then.
You didn't even know you could get it.
I didn't even know that this was a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that this company was a company that I could buy stocks in. I was completely clueless. And when she said that to me, I never forget, she was sitting down, she was looking at me, she's like, what's going on? I couldn't say anything. I was like, well, after that moment, I woke up. It was that and her telling me that in 1 year, I had spent over $35,000 on like food and entertainment. And I had to check myself because I was like, how did I get to a point when I was spending that kind of money on food and entertainment, where at one point in time in my life, I made $35,000 to $40,000 a year.
Yes.
So I had to check myself. I think that when we start making money, we have to immediately check ourselves and say, I need to invest this money so that this money can make money for me. If I would have invested in that stock back in 2013, when I made my first, 6-7 figures, do you know how much that stock would be worth right now? But we don't think about that. We don't think about long-term investing. So I have done some dumb shit with my money.
I've done some crazy stuff with my money. I don't really go crazy in high-end designer. And when I say going crazy,
I don't do it anymore.
Yeah, I say going crazy because when I was working in corporate, I was in real estate and I managed this property that we had converted apartments into condos. I'm the only salesperson, so I'm making like crazy money. And by crazy money at that time, I mean like $250,000 a year, right? Yeah. And my office was right down the street from Phipps Plaza here in Atlanta. And honey, when I tell you they knew your girl was coming, hey, I'm going to be on my lunch break. Can I come in? Is somebody available to, see me right now? Every single time I got paid, I'm walking in empty-handed, walking out with 3 or 4 bags.
Yeah.
And then I would later go on, a couple of years later after that, I would later go on to like lose everything when the recession of the 2008 to 2010 timeframe happened.
That's that real estate crash, right?
That was that real estate crash. Yeah. I would go on to lose everything. And when I tried to take those bags into a pawn shop to see if I could get enough to pay my mortgage, and they were trying to give me a couple $100 for bags that I paid thousands. Like imagine being offered $500 for a Chanel bag.
Yeah.
Of course, I couldn't bring myself to sell them because it didn't make sense. It just wasn't enough money to move the needle. But I remember sitting on the floor in the middle of all this stuff that I had to drag back in my house. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Yeah. Like, this is tens of thousands of dollars. And now I can't even get enough value from it to pay 1 month's worth of mortgage.
And when you're buying it, you don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Let me just say, I'm all for buying it after you become stable, right? And you get your investments set up the right way. And you're not, worrying about if you're going to be good 5 to 10 years from now, right? I'm okay with you treating yourself to a little something. But what happens is like your first time you get that check coming in, you're like, oh, I gotta, like, you just want to treat yourself. Yeah. But the way that we have to learn to treat ourselves is through investments and through real estate.
Yeah. Because that's what looks good. You know what makes you look like money? Your portfolio.
Absolutely.
And the problem is so many of us are getting it out of the mud, right? We didn't see this stuff.
No.
And so we associate success with having things. And that was a mindset that had to transition for me. Like I associated success with the high value car, the high priced car, and all of the things. Yeah. And now it's kind of like having time freedom, the ability to be where I want to be.
With who you want to be with.
With who I want to be with. Ronnie, those are the things that move the needle for me now. Yeah. It's really interesting how many lessons, I don't like to say losses, but it's so interesting how many lessons we have to experience and learn from before we realize like the things that we were prioritizing it's really silly.
It's not important. I say this all the time. Like now, baby, I'm with my family. I'm with my kids. I'm with my mom, my dad. Like my dad was, battling cancer, and I'm like there. None of this stuff is important to me the way it used to be. Yeah. Because now I know what's really important, and I just hope that this episode reminds you all, like, don't get so caught up in chasing that ghost, because you can still be successful. You can still prioritize your family, and you can still live a beautiful life.
Yeah. I know there's somebody who's watching this, though, who has a mindset much like me at that time that's saying, like, yeah, it's easy for you to say because you've experienced all of the rich behavior.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that that's true, right? Two things can exist.
Yeah.
Right. I have experienced it, But when I look back at the moments and the time that I lost, like I swear some of you all have like followed me on social media. My daughter is like 12 now. And people remember when she was 2. And now she's grown up in the blink of an eye. And thank God that I was able to be home and be there with her. But the time just went by too fast for me. I cry, you know. Some nights I'm like, oh my God, slow the clock down. Like she's growing and she's becoming a young lady, and we just don't realize how fast time is going.
I didn't realize. I mean, we see it, you know, as parents especially, we see it through our children. But let me tell you something. That day that my daughter went away to college,
it hit you.
Oh my God.
It hit you.
I needed therapy. I was depressed. Like that was the first real depression that I remember actually going through. Like even when I foreclosed on my homes and repossessed on houses, I was never depressed. It was inconvenient. It was unfortunate. But my first time dealing with depression for like a year and a half was when my daughter went away to college, because we were so close. And it was like I was dreading her senior year, right? So proud of her, but dreading her senior year. And that drive to drop her off at school, like there were knots in my stomach. Like, oh my God, the goodbye is coming sooner. So when I came back home and I looked around my condo and her bedroom was, you know, emptied of the things that her little trinkets that she took with her to decorate her apartment. I was a mess. I'm like, Ma, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. I think I'm gonna have to get me a second home. Like I was that mom. Yeah.
It's like that. You know, my oldest daughter, she's an adult now. She doesn't live with me. She has her own place, and it's different. I miss her.
Yeah. Is she in the city with you?
She's here, and she's in Atlanta.
She did move to Atlanta to pursue her beauty industry career.
Yeah. So I'm here. I'm like, I miss my baby.
Really? Do you come to visit her often?
That's why I'm here. People are like, why are you here? I'm like, my baby.
Yeah.
I'm getting right on the flight after I leave here today. We going to dinner. I already told her. I was like, what you doing today? She was like, I got a date. I was like, no, you don't. Cancel it. Mama's in town.
Yeah, cancel it. What have been some of the challenges for you kind of juggling being a CEO and having children at the same time and growing up like throughout this process?
Balance and boundaries. I think, you know, one of the things that has been really important to me that I struggle with initially, like when I first started in success, is like being available all the time for everybody. Especially when you're in direct sales, you know, you're doing 3-way calls, girl, people calling you all times tonight, 10 o'clock, they got somebody on the phone.
And you taking the call.
And you're taking the call, you're stepping out, holidays, you're stepping away. And I'm not doing that anymore. Like I'm going to be present. I have specialized, and like I'm getting off the phone at a certain time, and I'm really going to enjoy my life. Another thing that I realized is that like I spent so much time traveling, doing work travel, but baby, I was not doing leisure travel. Like I wasn't having a good time. It wasn't anything personal. It was always business. Now I'm like traveling, having fun. Like me and all my friends, we went to Turks for my birthday. It was like 13 women there. Like
I was
everyone
so
just
sad that I couldn't.
You were supposed to come.
I was so sad.
You know, I was like, okay, Donnie, but I know you had to go to your mastermind. Anywho, we had a ball. We had a ball, and I needed that. So now it's really about me understanding, like, girl, you cannot take this with you. All this money, all this success, you can't take it with you. You better go enjoy your life.
You know, I'm so glad that you said that. I have been thinking about, and this is a lesson that I've been wanting to teach. Sometimes on full transparency, I'll do a solo episode. I hadn't done one in a while, but I felt like this conversation was so important. And it's about using the things that you have right now, right? Wear the outfit, eat the food.
Wear it twice and
wear it twice and don't care. Wear it twice and be photographed in it and post it both times.
And ask who's going to check you.
And ask who's going to check you. So one of the things that me and my mom go back and forth about all the time, she loves the nice things, right? So I buy her all the nice things. Like I like to dress my mom, the shoes, the bags, the clothes. And then I'll say, hey, you haven't worn such and such that I bought you for Christmas. And here we are 7 months later, right? And she's her number one thing that she says is, I'm waiting for a special occasion.
No.
Oh, I'm going to wear it, but you know, I'm waiting for a special occasion. And I'm like, Ma, wear the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like when it comes to the things that we have, including our gifts, we're waiting on the perfect time. We're waiting for the opportunity to make sense. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's never a perfect time. I think like do it now. You know, I'm in my feminine, soft girl CEO, soft era, right? And I'm like getting dressed up. I'm just getting dressed up for the hell of it, right?
Yeah.
I'm going out to dinner. I'm putting on my cute shoes. I'm wearing my dresses. I'm not saving anything for any time because I don't even know how much time I have, right? We never know.
Right.
I'm enjoying every single moment, doing everything I love. I'm not doing it at the expense of my joy, my peace, my time, and my family. Honey, I'm living a life. So I'm not saving anything.
I'm loving seeing you in this space, like this real soft, feminine space. And you've been here for a minute.
Yes.
Ronnie, you were super spicy. Like super spicy. And I use spicy in a very censored way, okay? Yeah. You were super spicy. I get on your live sometime and be like, yo, who's she talking to?
But you know what? Let me just say this. It's so difficult being a woman in business. So you have to have just a little bit of spice. Because if you don't, ladies, you can be feminine and not take people's shit. So you got to be feminine, and you also got to know how to stand on business and not take mess. Because when you are out here as a woman trying to grow and evolve, people are going to try to get over on you.
All the time. So
you have to. And if you come off too, you know, they be like, oh, we got one. She a little naive. They be like, oh, you going to come speak? Okay, we got $500. And then they're paying everybody else $5,000 because you came off too sweet. So you have to. I am feminine all day, but I am a thorough businesswoman at the same time. I can be both.
Yeah, I think that's something that you and I discovered early on that we have in common. Like, we are so gentle.
Yeah.
We are so gentle, and we thrive in our feminine energy. But what the world gets to see, for the most part, is us being businesswomen.
Yes.
And us having to navigate this space where people really will take advantage of you. And it's not just men. Like, other women in organizations will also
absolutely
take advantage of the fact that you're a woman, and will lowball you.
And will pay men five figures.
Happily.
And try to get you $500.
Listen,
right?
I cannot tell you how many people pulled the, hey, sis, come do this for me.
Yes.
Meanwhile, where can we forward your invoice, sir?
Absolutely.
Like, or where can we forward your payment? And it's frustrating. So people don't get to see that soft side because you're always having to make sure people take you seriously.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I tell people all the time, when I have to leave my home and I have to leave my kids and my family, and I have to get on a plane that might be delayed, it might get missed, it might have to sit somewhere overnight, I might have to end up in a hotel somewhere, I got to go through all that. I need to be paid.
I need to be paid.
What I need to be paid.
And respected.
Yeah, and respected. And ladies, I want y'all to increase the price and increase the value and the experience at the same time. But make sure that you are not accepting the crumbs in business. Because when you are in rooms and you start to realize that everyone else, is getting paid a certain amount of money, but you, because you were afraid, right? For so long, I had to personally deal with this. And even now I'm teaching my mentees, don't be afraid to say like, oh no, this is my rate. And stand firm on that, and be willing to say, oh, well, when you can afford that, I look forward to working with you.
Yeah, for sure. And it's easy to say, right, being on this side of the formula, of the equation. But how would you tell women who are getting started right now to advocate for themselves?
I think the most important thing is make sure you have somebody in place that's doing your emails and your phone calls.
That's it.
That's it. That's the secret. I learned that so many years ago. When people can just pull up on you and say, hey, can you do this? Or can you come speak here? They think that there is no order, that you have no business. I do not negotiate my book. It's like I speak all over the world now, right? And I have a 5-figure speaking budget. And I have someone that you're going to have to talk to, because I'm going to come in, I'm going to demand the stage, I'm going to teach, I'm going to entertain. Baby, I feel like there is not too many people who can do it like me, right? And because of that, mama got to leave her children behind. Mama got to get on these flights. Yes. Mama want to stay in a nice, clean hotel because my home is nice and clean. So with that being said, respectfully, I will tell every woman, don't be out here negotiating your own stuff. No. And if you are, you better talk in third person via email.
First of all, let me tell you, in my earlier days when I was beginning, nobody talked to me.
Yeah.
My assistant was my middle name. So my middle name is Bianca.
Come on, Bianca.
Come on, Bianca. And anytime you wanted anything, it didn't matter. Every department was ran by Bianca. Come on, okay. Bianca was the personal assistant. She was the executive assistant. She handled customer service. She handled billing. It was never Donnie Wiggins. I had an email address that was created early on that was like Bianca@suchandsuch.com. And it takes the onus off of you. It's pressure having to communicate what your rates are, even what your policy is. It's so much easier to say, oh, absolutely, I'd love to do your event. If you could just get in touch with my assistant, Bianca. And you notice how the conversation changes. Now it's you up at night responding to these messages, right? But they have no idea. Even if you have to get a second phone, get your second phone and you're texting as that assistant. You may not have the money to invest in a team member right now, but you can with all the apps that are available.
Okay.
You know, you can absolutely invest in that technology to have somebody advocate for you.
Yeah. And let me just stress this. Another thing I want to tell you all to do, like if you have the budget, get somebody who believes in you. Because it's so important. Don't just get somebody to work for you that is coming to clock in, make their money, and go home. Get someone on your team who can negotiate your deals, that actually believes in your brand, but also believes that you are worth it, right? The person who negotiates my stuff is Shane, and Shane has been working with me for over 5 years at this point. She believes in me. She believes that I'm worthy. She sees my day-to-day. She sees me interacting with my kids. She sees all that I have going on, right? She negotiates my partnerships. Me posting on social media is a different rate from me coming to a speaking engagement. That's two different things, right? So I have companies that understand that if I'm putting you in front of 1.5 or 2 million people a month, this is advertising, because that's the amount of traffic that I'm getting on my page a month, right? Then just like you all are paying, people are paying for that visibility during that halftime show.
Yeah, right.
For the NFL.
Right.
How many people is watching? People are watching here. So it's advertising dollars. You have to get people on your team that understand your true value, your true worth, and they're willing to sell you, not lowball you. All right. And when you get that, you will see the tables turn.
Absolutely. Ronne, you wear so many hats.
A lot.
Membership community, a mentorship community, podcast that's performing very well, and a skincare brand. How do you, somebody would say, oh, look at her. I absolutely can do all the things that I want to do. I can multitask. I can have multiple streams of income. How do you respond to that based on where you are right now and what you've known it to take to be able to do those things?
I would 100% say that I could never do all of this stuff by myself. All right. I am so thankful for my team. I want to make sure I stress team. I have people who are helping me, that believe in my vision, who believe that this is going somewhere. This is not a I thing, all right? My team is God, and that team that I have, Jesus, all right? If it was not for him and the people that he has sent to help me on this journey, I would not be where I am. As far as how we do it, I think that everything that I do, it's a part of my lifestyle. So it does not take me out of my zone. All right. I talk to women all day, every day. The community was a no-brainer. I had the community, High Heels, High Goals, 2013, 2014. It just naturally happened. Podcast, believe it or not, I did not think that my podcast would be successful. I really did not. My podcast started from me going live on Instagram. Give y'all a little tip. I started to go live on Instagram, and then I literally just started to save the lives from the Instagram lives. And then I would upload these Instagram lives up into the podcast channel. And people were just listening to my live Instagrams as podcasts. And then I look up and my show is top 200 in the US at entrepreneurship. And I'm not even realizing that this is a thing. They were literally just Instagram lives. And people started like feeling like, hey, I like listening to this because she's in her kitchen. It sounds like she's in her kitchen. No, baby, I'm in my kitchen for real. Because this is an Instagram.
In her robe.
In my robe. And it just took off. So sometimes we think that we have to have, you know, the lighting and the mics. Like, we got this now. But when you start, sometimes, just like you said, Donnie, use what you have right now.
Right now.
Because you don't need all that. My podcast didn't blow up when I started making video. I have been a 100% audio podcast. Honey, kept the expenses down. All right.
Yes.
I have been an audio podcast up until last year.
Okay.
So my podcast has probably been out for about 5 years at this point. People are like, oh, like, we didn't know that these were Instagram lives. Didn't have any special effects, no editing, none of that stuff. And it became a top podcast 3-4 years ago just from downloading Instagram Live. So I want y'all to hear me out. Use what you got right now. Because you just never know.
When did you know that it was time for you to add the video component to your podcast?
So I am still like getting into that.
Okay.
Right. And the reason being is like, I don't plan podcasts. Honestly.
What?
I don't. It's like, I'll sit down in my room. I'll have something on my heart. And that's why a lot of them were Instagram lives, because I just like to go live and just say what's on my heart. And I feel more genuine, more authentic, like less scripted. When I do that, I don't feel like, you know, I'm reading a script.
Yeah.
I've never had guests on my podcast really up until last year. It was just me talking. And my audience loved that. I used to bring guests in and they wouldn't listen to those podcasts. They just wanted to hear me talk and say what's on my heart. So I would stress this again. Go with the flow. Use what you have. Some of you all are out there, you thinking that you got to go get this famous celebrity on your podcast and they're going to blow your podcast up.
Won't.
It doesn't work like that.
It will not move.
People want to feel connected to you.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to me. And I'm doing video here and there, but I just love sitting in my car, downloading my lives and uploading them. It's real, it's authentic, and it's me.
So you're still doing that part?
Absolutely. The one that's going to come out tomorrow is literally me in my car.
You in your car going live.
Going live.
But I relate to that so much. As I think about it, like the best comments that I get on my podcast are when I am doing a solo episode. All of my shows have video attached to it, but the ones that seem to resonate on that level that I'm looking for are my solo episodes. The issue with that, though, to all of y'all that are watching, they don't be sharing that one as much. So the viewership goes down. And what I love about having guests on is that I'm going to collaborate in this post with you. Yeah. You're going to be proud of whatever it was that you said or entertained by it. You want to share that with your audience. But it also drives people to the YouTube to come and check out the episode. Yeah. So you get more viewership and more reach that way. When it's just me by myself, it's like, you know, they're so used to hearing from Donnie the mentor, Donnie on Instagram Live, that they forget that we're really building a business doing this too. Yeah, for sure.
I'm coming back over.
I need you to commit. You got to be consistent.
Committed. You know, and this crazy thing is I do videos on my YouTube all the time.
So what is it?
I just do regular videos. It's just me talking. It's not like interviewing people. So and I really enjoy that.
Why don't you, though, just create a set at your home?
I do. I have my studio is in my house. That set that you see me like sitting
That's at home?
That's my house. I have a studio in my house.
So just don't go live. I mean, don't bring on guests, and you just sit right there to do your lives.
It's just something about the people who are watching that that ask me the questions. Girl, like for me, it's just all purpose. I'm just like, God, when I'm ready, when it's time for me to go over there, I'm gonna do it. But like, I'm just following the spirit right now.
Yeah. And you have a lot going on.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Holistic.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Let me just say, I launched Holistic just from the need of like seeing myself as so many successful women go. And I had gotten to a point in my life, probably about 3 or 4 years ago, where I was going so much. I was burnt out. My skin was breaking out. I had gained so much weight, probably like 40 pounds. I showed you the picture earlier.
Yes.
Girl, I was a little thickums,
You were
right?
thick. She was still fine, but your girl was thick.
I was thick. And I just felt like I wasn't taking the time for me.
Okay.
So I launched Holistic. It's a plant-based beauty and feminine care brand founded by myself. But the purpose of it is not just products. It is to really just empower women to prioritize personal care again. And not just from a beauty aspect, from a moment of silence aspect, from a go sit in your car if you got to duck your kids out for a minute aspect, like go on your vacation, turn your phone off, but just get back to you. And it's just been a beautiful thing. Our products are plant-based. Our skincare is made in America.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of that. And it's growing so fast.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Make sure y'all go follow Shop Holistic.
Definitely make sure you do that. But I want to talk about like how, first of all, skincare is such a competitive lane.
It is.
And it is not one that that is easy to dominate in.
It's not.
So what makes you stand out? Like, how are you building this and getting return clients, return customers, referrals? Like, what's going on?
Well, let me just start with saying I'm a product of my product. When people see me, the first thing they say is like, your skin is glowing. When y'all see me on social media, like I'm a little glam today, but my hair is normally standing on top of my head. I'm fresh out the shower. I got a robe on. I have no makeup on my face. So people get to see my bare skin all the time.
Yes.
And I feel like even when you have, makeup on, if you have good skin, you can see that a person has good skin even through the makeup.
I'm looking at you right now.
It's a glow.
Glowing, baby.
It's glowing.
It's glowing.
Right?
You look amazing.
So you can still see that. And I feel like I have been the biggest like billboard for my brand. That's the first thing. The second thing is I put a lot of time into formulating my product line. We literally worked through it over 2.5 years. And getting a chemist, because my product is not white label. I didn't just go slap a label on this product. I had to get a chemist. We had to test it out on skin. We had to send it out. All my friends were like testing out the products for me. We had to make changes, adjustments. It was a long, hard journey, and I had to find ingredients that really worked for our skin. All right. And when we did, I feel like if the product is good, you don't have to do a lot. People always ask me like, Ronnie, why you don't do influencer marketing? And my everyday customers have become my influencers. They make videos for us. They're not fancy smancy. They don't have to be glammed up. They don't live in big mansions. It's my everyday customers that use my products, and they make videos for us, and we use them. We do these things called honey stories, where we share like the stories of the women, everyday customers who are actually buying our products, and people love them. In addition to that, we have an affiliate program. So I don't think a lot of people want to do that because they're like, hey, like I want to make that money. But as someone who has grown their brand on social media, I'm like, I'm going to give my people, like if you post my product and somebody buys it because of you, let me make sure you have this link. And we pay our affiliates out every month for referrals because we appreciate them sharing our products on their platform. I don't take that for granted.
I love that. And I think that's first of all, that's a nugget. So many people are chasing the influencer.
I'm not.
Whose rates you can't really afford. You'll mess around and put yourself out of business chasing the influencers.
And the return on investment is not always that. There's a difference between a following and influence. And people think that just because people have a following that they have an influence, and they don't. All right. followers don't always convert to sales. And we have to look at that ROI, not the popularity. All right. We have to look at the conversion rates. Yeah. And if the conversions are not there, then you've probably spent, these influencers these days, $5,000-$10,000 for a post, and then you make nothing back.
Yeah. Y'all would be surprised. I know you wouldn't, but you guys would be surprised to know how many influencers come through my funnel on a regular basis because they have all of this following, this audience, but they don't make any money. Do you remember the story from years ago?
When the girl launched a T-shirt brand.
Yes, she had over 1 million followers.
And only sold like 10 T-shirts or something like that.
This young lady, influencer, beauty space, like comments galore all over her page. She decides to launch a T-shirt line. And she could not sell more than 10 shirts.
Yeah.
Instantly shut her business down. Like, she was so offended and surprised and just shocked because in so many people's minds, they equate that number that you see on your followers to dollars.
I have friends and even clients that had 500, 1,000 followers that are more wealthier than I am.
Talk about it.
And I'm not ashamed to say that. Like, they are doing it. Like, I admire them. I look up to them. They give me game. I call them and I ask them what they think. They got 500, 1,000 followers. They don't really, their business is not building and being built on social media. And mega success. And even if it is being built on social media, it's the systems that are doing the work for them. They're not leveraging their personal pages. So that's also another tip that people need to be mindful of. Like, somebody will offer you some assistance. Say, hey, I can support your brand. I can do this, that, and the other, or let me introduce you to this person or that person. And the first thing they do is go to their social media, look and see how many followers they have, and people are determining your value based on your followers. And it's a big mistake.
A huge mistake.
It's a big mistake.
You cannot determine somebody's value based on the number of followers that they have.
You determine it based on their heart and their character.
Yeah.
Because I have some amazing friends that I love and I adore and I just respect. And they are not popping on Instagram, but those are the people that I spend my holidays with. Those are the people that I celebrate my birthday with. And those are the people that I know that if every follower just disappears, those people will still have my back and be in my life.
Let's talk about your life a little. Let's talk about your life a little.
Life is good.
Life is good? Is it just good?
It's kind of great.
What is protecting your peace?
My personal life.
Okay.
I just think that I'm just in such a good space. Things don't bother me the way they used to. I'm thankful. I'm loved. I'm just in a very different space in my life. I'm forgiving and I'm just in my own little bubble, and I love this for me.
But how do you get there? Are you meditating? Are you reading the books? Are you doing a deep bubble bath every other day? Like, tell me the literal steps.
I'm attracting,
Okay. I am attracting and calling.
I'm calling it to me.
Myself.
It's come to me.
It has come to me.
It has come.
Let's touch and agree.
Yes, like you gotta call it. And once you start calling it, it just comes to you.
Y'all, we are speaking this way, but this is real.
It's real.
It is really real.
I know y'all probably like, what the heck are they talking about?
What are they talking
It's
about?
a real thing. Like, you have to call it. You have to say that, like, I need this moment. I feel confident. I know what I want in life. I know what I deserve in life. Like, only great things find me. I'm still, I used to feel like I was the determining factor for my success. And I used to be hustling and bustling and running around like a crazy person because I felt like I was the person who was, making things happen. I'm like, God, you got this. You know best for my life. I surrender to you. I'm going to give this to you, God. I trust you. And you will be amazed how things are happening. I'm not just talking about business. I'm talking about personal. I'm talking about love. I'm talking about success. I'm talking about friendships. I'm talking about family. Things will shift once you really believe that that's what you deserve.
And think you will have your moment of suddenly. like not only will things shift, they will shift right before your eyes.
Yes.
And you'll have that moment where it's like, yo, I was worrying so much about
What
this
was I worrying about?
particular area. What was I thinking? What was I worrying about? Worrying for what?
Yes. Since I wake up on Saturdays, I'm in my house, honey, playing a little music, a little Anita Baker on Saturday, just in my PJs. I love my home.
Yeah.
I love my space, and things are just good.
If you really pay attention to what you have available to you, what you have access to, like God will literally blow your mind.
If you appreciate what you have at this very moment.
Yes.
And the crazy thing is, like, I was happy when I was broke, right?
Same.
I was happy when I was broke. I just knew that I could have more.
Yeah.
But I had to just thank God for every moment. Mm-hmm. So I think that is the trick. Like, are you really grateful?
Mm-hmm.
Will you appreciate what you have? Because you got to appreciate right now.
Mm-hmm.
I say this to entrepreneurs all the time. Like, everybody's online. Like, I'm ready to quit this job. I'm ready to get out of here. I always say there were moments when I was on my knees praying, like, God, let me get this job, please, because I need it. And then the audacity of me to get it and start making a little money in my business and be like, I'm sick of this.
I'm sick of this job.
I'm ready to go. I'm so grateful. I tell a lot of my students, go back to work and get your peace. Because right now you're not in that place in your business where you can do this full time. Just go back to work so you can have that solid income, so we can fund that business, so you can get in your peaceful place. I had a lady message me yesterday. She was like, Ronnie, I don't want to take these jobs that are beneath you. I said, honey, nothing is beneath you right now. You are being tested, and you go ahead and get the job that you need to fund your life. You are going to elevate after you do this, because you know what this is going to show? This is going to show that you are thankful for all things.
Yeah.
And if you could do good with this thing, God will give you more.
Yeah. And our life experiences shape us and shape our mindset when it comes to those situations, because your life experience includes you at one time being that janitor, mopping floors, cleaning up behind.
Getting evicted from our house.
Getting evicted.
Like, come on.
So you've done the things to really suggest that nothing is beneath you. You're going to do what you have to do.
Do what I got to do.
There are people, though, that have never had to necessarily get it out of the mud.
No.
Right? There are people who've never had to get it out of the mud. And so they
like
have
our
this,
kids.
Like our kids. And so they have this expectation that everything just runs smoothly and perfectly. Like, you don't understand that there was somebody behind the scenes orchestrating all this perfection.
I be telling my kids, let me clarify some things for you. My success is not your success.
Facts.
You're going to have to go and build your success. I can help you, but, you know, when your kids grow up a different way, it's so funny because I can look at my kids that I had when in my broke young years, and they're different than my daughter who's like only 12. She's like, you know, I want this, I want that. She has like high expectations. I'm like, girl, if you don't go sit down. But when you are used to things, you grow up a certain way. So I just, you know, I'm teaching my kids now what it takes to make the money that they need to buy the things that they desire. And because they can easily get these things from us, I don't think that they understand and see the value of things sometimes. So we got to show them the value.
Yeah. I saw Billy Jean. Shout out to Billy Jean Marketing. He's all over the internet, right? But my favorite ad from him ever, I just recently saw. And he's sitting at the kitchen table with his 3 nieces, and he's got this money. He's handed them each some money. And then he has an assortment of careers that they can choose from, right? And so somebody wants to be a realtor, somebody wants to be something else, and someone picked marketing. And so based on the careers, he's given them like, this is what your net worth is at this time. And then he's got on the table all of these life expenses that are mandatory: your housing, your toiletries, your electricity, water, insurance, all these things, right? And so these are small kids. So he's like, I want you to take your $30, your $30, your $50. And I want you to buy all the things that you need to buy, right? And so they're going around the table and they're putting their money on these things that they need: their house, their cars. Somebody picked the parties and the clothes and, you know, all this stuff. And two of the little girls were just out of money without having their most necessary essentials. The marketer, however, she had all her necessary things and some money left over. And then he said, oh, but wait, Here's Uncle Sam. He put his hat on and he's like, now it's tax time. I need my money. So give me this, 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 and this, and this. And the little girls were like, except for the marketer who had some money left over, they were so upset and they just could not understand. They could not fathom why these expenses were necessary. And I sat, it's the first time I've actually sat and watched one of his entire,
yes,
because, he got a different ad out all the time and they're all movies,
yeah.
right? It's the first time that I've ever sat and watched one of his entire marketing pieces. And I thought, this was so genius to do this and play this out loud, because it goes beyond marketing. It's an actual life lesson.
It's giving Billie Jean, put some more money on that ad.
Put some more money on it.
That ad is converting.
The ad is converting, but it's also like, it made me think about just in my mentorship community, and maybe even for you and yours.
Yeah.
Adults need that same type of role play.
Absolutely.
We need that same type of role play.
Absolutely.
I want you to take $5,000 and here are the options. I want you to go and live your life, pay for the life that you must live.
Yeah.
Tell me what's left. And this is the realest picture. I want you guys to actually do that. Like, take a piece of paper, cut it up, put rent for however much that is, your utilities for however much those things are, your toiletries, your clothes, your hair, whatever those things are. And I want you to take your salary that you get monthly, whatever you're getting, right, before taxes even. And I want you to allocate those funds. We need to see it visually sometimes.
Absolutely. And let me just say, honey, I learned this firsthand, in-person experience. I remember the first year that I made my 7 figures and I marched into my accountant's office and she had that conversation with me. Well, the part of that conversation that I did not tell you about was the fact that she told me that I had owed $100,000 in taxes. And I never forget going to my savings account, like getting all that money out, crying. I cried in the car. Mm-hmm. Like, sister girl cried. Mm-hmm. I did not know about paying quarterly taxes. Mm-hmm. I will never forget that moment. Yeah. That April come around real quick, baby.
It comes around
real quick.
Every year.
And I had no clue. I just marched in there at the end of the year, big boss, I'm ready to pay. She said the amount. And I cried.
Look, no, I'm not looking to prepay anything. I mean, hey, CEO Donnie Wiggins here, and I am so excited to announce my new mentorship group is dropping. You may have already heard about it, but I wanted you to hear it from the horse's mouth, directly from me. My new mentorship group, Actionable CEO, for entrepreneurs who are interested in professional growth, personal growth, and financial growth. You want to learn from me. Y'all have been asking for this for the last 3 years, and I have finally brought Actionable CEO back to serve you every single week. Direct mentorship from me. You will also hear from other people who are in my community that I believe will be greatly impactful to you. You're going to get behind the scenes. We're going to be spending some time together live. This is not pre-recorded. This is live mentorship. So if you are an entrepreneur and you want to be connected, feel connected, you want to elevate your brand, you want to elevate your life, you want to elevate your level of success, Actionable CEO is for you. ActionableCEO.com. See you there. How much do I owe now?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's the now number?
So now we do quarterly payments.
For sure.
Because it gets me prepared. It gives me a little time. And, it also helps me not get them big bills at the end of the year. But, yeah, this is real. That money is coming out. So, for sure. We got to teach these kids.
We have to teach the kids. We have to teach the adults, because there are so many entrepreneurs who are watching this right now that are where Donnie and Ronne were 10, 15 years ago. Friends. And we didn't know. Like, we know how to make the money, but we don't know what to do with the money. We don't know about investing.
Yeah.
We don't know about stocks.
We don't know about real estate.
We don't know about real estate. We don't even know that we have the access to buy into the stocks of the companies that we use every day.
Yeah, I'm literally just learning. For sure. I went through this program called Investing Uncomplicated and learning just for beginners how to buy just basic, I want to get into the fancy stuff, right? Yeah. Like, just show me. And like, I'm literally learning.
Yeah. And these are things I love your brand so much because I resonate with it. Like, as we go, people think we have it all figured out.
No. I'm learning.
We are learning because nobody else did. Did you hear us say out the mud?
Yeah. And let me just tell you, I tried to go out here and get into the stock market like 2-3 years ago, did not know what I was doing. You know, jumped in, saw some stuff on social media, like, oh, I can do this. Went in and lost $40,000. It's like, no, start from the very beginning.
Yeah. And that's probably, I asked you, one of the craziest things you've done with your money. One of the silliest things I have done with a large sum of money was to blindly invest in an opportunity and lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in one day.
Let me just, best friends, look at me. Bring that camera in, okay? Just zoom this part in, okay? Do not take your money and put it into anything that you personally do not have experience and knowledge in. Every time I have lost large amounts of money, I have taken my money and invested it in something that I was not aware of, that someone else was selling me on. Saying, girl, it's going to do this, it's going to do that, you can make this, you can make that. And I lost my money every time. If you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the experience, you don't know what's really going on, keep your money out of that.
And it's so confusing because it's one of those things where you want to say, if it sounds too good to be true, then it is. But the life that I'm living literally and how it changed so quickly is also a too good to be true story, but it happened, right? Yeah. It's just, I took a major L and I was sick, like for a minute. And even my mom, you know, I'm one of those people that something can happen. You learn a tough lesson. You kick, scream, moan, maybe even cry about it. And then I have to completely shift gears and go straight into like, how do I make this right? How do I rebuild? How do I recover from this? And a couple days later, after I told my mom what happened, she called me like, hey, you need anything? And I'm like, no, I'm good. What's up? She's like, how are you smiling? Yeah. How are you you just got to keep going.
You just got to keep going.
And that's really what life is about, but it's also more specifically what entrepreneurship is about. This is not a perfect journey.
It's not. It's about the lessons and all of the wisdom and the knowledge. You get it from the journey. You get it from the journey. Yeah. And you don't see it while you're in it because you're just like, oh, why am I going through this? Honey, I have been through so much stuff and I've had to learn. And I would have rather now learn from other people's mistakes than my own. But I had to learn the hard way. And the great thing about it is like you're going to be able to teach someone else those lessons.
Yeah, you'll be able to teach someone else. I too would wish that some of these lessons I don't have to learn on my own, because in hindsight it's like, come on, you knew better. Yeah. You knew better than to be that exposed to this kind of situation. How has your success affected your relationships, male and female, if it has?
Let me just say, being a woman and trying to do business and build relationships and friendships, and it's different. I think something that I'm learning in this season, and I want everyone to learn this, especially if you are at a certain point in your life, right? You can be genuine and you can be pure and you can have great intentions. And just because you are genuine and you are pure and you have great intentions, it doesn't mean that everyone else is. And everyone else does. And you get hurt. You know, everyone talks about businesses, you know, failing and being hard, but no one talks about the betrayal that you experience as a woman and hurt that comes with, you know, people. And I talk about this often to my audience, but I feel like when you are walking in your purpose and your purpose is people, right? You have to deal with people. You are going to be tested. You're going to be hurt. You're going to be betrayed, man. And the people that you help, sometimes they hurt you the worst, right? And you just don't know what people's angles are. And unfortunately, you can never predict. You can never see it coming. But what I say is, God got it. I tell my audience all the time, my followers, I'm like, get out of God's business. He got it. And you just stay pure. I think the test is to see if you will change your heart. And if you don't change your heart and you say who you are, you won. But if you become them and you try to get them back, you lose. That's the test. Ronnie.
That's good, because you're right. Our business and our purpose, not only our purpose, but also our passion
Yeah.
is connected to serving people,
Absolutely.
leading people, educating people, influencing people, inspiring them. So when that very same thing that we're purposefully connected to betrays us, hurts us in a way that feels like betrayal, and the challenging part is while this is happening, you still have to keep moving.
You have to. And you have to understand that money does not equal loyalty. And sometimes when you're doing business with people, you think, oh, you know, we made a lot of money together. No, people don't. That's not how this works, right? Character is everything. Sometimes we're so just into the look and the glitz and glam of things. Do you know the heart of the person? And I think that we have to understand that boundaries are important. We have to take our time and get to know people, right?
Yes.
You have to we have to move a little slower with putting people in front of our audiences, because you got to go back and clean it up after the fact.
Girl, first of all,
you learn this the hard way.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, you do.
And, you know, some people are really just trying to get into the room.
Yeah.
And you don't have a clue. And you are the key to the room.
Yeah, and you're the key to the room. And that's been probably the biggest standout for me in terms of how relationships can be affected.
Isn't it hurtful?
It is hurtful. But you know what? I've recently learned how to recognize that some relationships are going to be transactional, and that's okay. Yeah. Right? When it's not okay is when I am trying to force a transactional relationship to be long-term and loving and, you know, honoring and loyal. Yeah. That's not what those relationships are for. Some relationships are really just to get you in the room or to get them in the room on your back, on your network, on saying your name. Yeah. That's one of the hardest lessons. You'll really feel like you've hit it off with somebody. Y'all are vibing, hanging out, sharing all the things. Yeah. And then it's like as soon as they accomplish their goals,
bingo, they're off to your network.
They're off to your network and making deals and not even including you in them.
I know it all too well, sis.
I'm like, yes, they are off. I like to just, you know, I understand that I'm out there. You're out there. But you do a really good job at protecting your energy, protecting your peace. You are not on every flyer, at every event, and neither am I.
You know, I understand that people are going to people. And you have to protect your space. And another thing, even when I've gone through those situations, like I'm a forgiving person. I can forgive you and never be around you again a day in my life. And I understand that no one is perfect. Let me just stress this. I want to make sure I say this.
Okay.
Everybody has flaws. And what I have seen in, you know, so many different situations, like when people make mistakes and they do things wrong, it may take them a year, 2 years, or 3 years. They'll come back around after life, because God is, you know, when it says vengeance is the Lord's, like he was real when he said that. Like people learn, because then that thing happens to them. And they come back and they say, man, like I realized. So you have to just let God do his thing. You have to forgive people. I've forgiven people and allow them even back in my space, right? When I see change behavior, when I feel like it's genuine. I'm also just learning to protect my friendships. That's another thing that I'm learning in this season. Like I don't have my friends around everybody anymore. Yeah. You know, I keep my groups separate, like, you know, just intertwining can be interesting. So you just learn how to move around as you get older, and you learn to observe. And I think in my, you know, past life, my younger years, I was just excited. And every time that I was too excited or too anxious about something, that's when I got hurt or taken advantage of. Yeah.
I feel you when you say compartmentalizing your friendships.
Absolutely.
That's so important. If I could give you guys any piece of advice, it's just to piggyback off of what you just said. Because early on, I wanted all my friends to kind of be together, and we're all going to do brunch, and we're all going to take the girls trip, and we're all going to do these things. And when it's just a very, very, very dangerous way to set yourself up, because a number of things can happen. They can start to resonate with them more. And now, you're in your feelings and feeling a way and offended when that's not what anybody meant. Also, when certain situations don't go the way that you want, you can destroy the whole, the whole circle.
Yeah.
And out of protection for my relationships, I definitely run in the same but different circles. Yeah. My friends are my friends, but I hang with you guys in this setting. I hang with you guys in this setting, and I don't really need you guys, together. And those type of relationships, you have to train everybody to understand.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, going out with these people, tomorrow, girl, I'll call you when we get back. When I get back, like, I'm okay with the grouping and the boundaries because we learn from those. Everybody doesn't get along. Some people don't mix. So, it's nothing worse than being on a vacation with two groups of friends and some of the people don't get along. So you got to understand how that works. And I think all of this is growth, but also understanding that as you get older, everyone doesn't get that title, friend, right? I call my father best friends. I'm like, hey, best friends. But everyone isn't a friend. Some people are just associates. Some people, are just regular people. They don't have a space in your life, right? Yeah. You have to understand that you're not supposed to or label everyone as his close friend or family member. The people that come to my house and spend holidays with me, those are my friends. Yeah. Me doing business is different. And I think that we just tend to think that business equals friendship and loyalty, and it doesn't. It often destroys them.
Yes, that is true. I'm so grateful for the business partnerships that I have. All of my partnerships, for the most part, are with friends.
Yeah.
But there is a way to place value or identify what the values are of those people. And you have to make sure you're in alignment with what matters.
Yeah. I think for me, I'm just happy in this season that I'm my friends, my close friends, we aren't in business together.
You're just friends.
We're just friends.
Yeah.
My best friends, we have done business together previously, and then we just went and did different things, and that was it. But we still love each other. They're still my best friends to this day, and I just like it so much better now because there is nothing. There's no monetary thing that's keeping us connected.
Same. My best friends are my friends of 25 to 30 years. And I love that we don't do business. When I need them to support me, they are there to support me. But I don't need them to, to support my lifestyle. They don't need me to support theirs. And that friendship is just organic. And
it's a beautiful thing. They don't need a post on Instagram.
They don't need none of that.
They don't need a shout out.
They don't need to be tagged.
Yeah. Yes. We just, it's girl, what you doing this morning?
Yeah.
How was your week? It's just genuine.
Yeah. And you don't have to filter what you're saying.
Yeah.
Is really important. Ronne, you are so personally developed, right? You're uber successful. You know where you're going. You know where you are. You have core values.
Yes.
How does this impact the type of man you'd be attracted to?
So I think that whatever we are and whatever we possess is what we put out. And I think that that's what you attract. I think that, you're going to have some stuff that just blow your way.
Okay.
But whatever it is that you put out is what you are going to attract. And initially you're going to get the representative, but it's hard to sustain what you aren't. So the people who don't possess the values that are important to me, they wouldn't last very long. When I was out here dating and all that stuff, they wouldn't last long because they didn't possess those values. You can get the representative
all day.
First 3 to 6 months, they got it all together, right? Maybe a year. Some people are really good actors, but the values are always going to show. The emotional maturity will show. The love and family values will always show. The actual goals. A lot of people like the idea of you. But when they actually get to experience you, you can be too much for them. not, business. We're not talking business because like it's a difference intimately.
For sure.
But the person that I would attract is always going to be somebody who's mentally and emotionally available. And, there's a lot out here online. Come on, girls.
Talk to them.
Come on,
now.
best friends.
Talk to
There's
them.
a lot out here online. And one of the things that I remember is a conversation I was having with someone that I absolutely love. And it was said, it's people know when to invest in a house. People know when to invest in a car. People know when to invest in a business or when to invest in the stock market, but they don't know when to invest in a good woman.
I am posting that online today. I'm posting that online today.
Yeah, but my person does, and that's what's important to me.
Yeah, and that's true. I don't necessarily believe in the microwaved relationship, right? But I do know that and in this season, I've not had like a ton of experiences that make me believe that there aren't good men. I don't buy into that narrative. I don't entertain those conversations like every single day. I don't know why people think I'm interested in these conversations because I talk about entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Like you don't hear me online going back and forth with men about men and women and all this stuff.
No.
However, maybe because I'm the kind of woman that these posts refer to all the time, the leader, the boss, the successful, people create their narratives. But I just had, ironically, a pastor friend of mine send me a clip from a podcast that is talking about why successful women are single at such a large degree. And I briefly looked at it as soon as I heard what the conversation was about and where that narrative was going. I got out of the video, right? And I just responded to him and said, I don't even really plug into these kind of conversations. I have to be careful about the information that I allow to penetrate my brain. Because if you hear enough of that, if you hear enough
begin
people,
to believe it.
You begin to believe it, or you begin to question it, or you begin to think that what you're looking for is unrealistic.
And it's not.
And it's not.
Let me say, it's not.
Okay.
It's not. Like it's really not. And we see a lot of that conversation online. And I think that people are just really bored. And the conversation is so redundant. There is this thing that all successful women will just end up alone and bored and by themselves. And it's the worst thing that can happen to you in your life. And I don't think that women need to really listen to that, because you have to listen. You have to take a moment and step back and see who's telling you this.
Yes.
All right. There are a lot of chauvinistic.
Ronnie, hold on. I'm not ready. Hold on.
There are so many chauvinistic, insecure, toxic masculinity, all this toxic masculinity that's going on here. Edit that part. Toxic masculinity.
Yes.
There's so much toxic masculinity that is going on out here. It's insane, and you just have to be careful, because you will begin to believe that everybody thinks like that.
For sure.
And let me just tell you, baby, there are some amazing men out here that are successful, that are mature, that are emotionally available, that are loving and kind, and that will look at you and the success that you have and will say, oh my God, like, I'm successful, you successful. Just imagine what we can do together. They're out here, and they don't want you to be sitting at home, not doing anything, depending on them. They don't want that. Like, they are okay with you operating in your purpose and
blossoming,
finding something that you love. Don't y'all listen to that. It's not true.
Listen.
The men who you are hearing say that, they want you to believe that that's the case. And it's not the case. That's their reality. And that's what they want. I posted this clip of Gilly. Shout out to Wallow and Gilly. And Gilly is so hilarious, this clip. Y'all, I want y'all to insert it into this podcast. I'm going to give it to you.
Okay.
And he was just like, be careful, you know, with these guys out here that are telling you they want you to sit at home and do nothing and just be this soft life woman, and then you don't have any money. This was Gilly said, you look up and you don't have any money, you don't have any dreams, and you don't have nothing, and you look up and oh boy be gone, and then you out here, what did he say, looking like begging the stallion, right?
Begging the stallion is crazy.
Begging the stallion. And I cried so bad when I saw that clip. I was laughing, like tears were rolling down my eyes. He's like, don't let these people trick you out of your position.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I was like, somebody gets it, because if a person was to convince me that they don't want me to have any dream, any goal, any business,
any money,
any form of
any happiness outside of them,
making money outside of them and just depending on them, I would say that this person is trying to mentally just abuse me.
That's
like
one step
away from
abuse, like real abuse.
I have nothing. I have no career. Yeah. I have no dreams. I have no aspirations. I'm not flowing in my purpose. Yeah. Some people are okay with that. But for me, I'm saying for the people who want a dream, want a goal, you want a business, you want a side hustle, and somebody is telling you that if you do that, you're not in your femininity, that seems a bit controlling to me.
It doesn't seem, it is. Like there is no other way to analyze that, right? I grew up seeing so many girls that we dreamt together. Like we sat down and we planned and we did all the things, all the conversations about what life would look like for us. And then they meet this man and, you know, he's successful or he does whatever he does. And that man will convince her that, oh, let me take care of you. I got it. You don't need to be doing this. Don't go back to that job and, you know, don't go build this business. You don't need to stress. You just sit home and the woman for me will be here available. You know, when I'm ready for her to be available, you'll travel with me. You'll do all the things. That's what I grew up seeing that. But then I'd see a year later, if even a year later, a few years later, when they're ready for the relationship to be over, you end up with nothing. And then you are scrambling to rebuild.
But what happens, and no one talks about this, the amount of men that are out here saying that they are unhappy, all the ones that, you know, are on these shows or podcasts, whatever the case may be, or just in general, most of them are talking about how tired and exhausted they are because everything is on their shoulders.
Listen, pick a side. Like, seriously.
Like everything is on their shoulders. So for me, I'm big on teamwork. Yeah. Like, I'm not the retire me, you know, let me go and go through your bank account and spend up all your money. Like, I am a person where my person is going to take care of me because that person wants to. But I'm also going to be able to take care of my person. If anything was to happen, we're going to have each other's back. Like,
are you that's a 50-50 girl?
I am whatever needs to be done, girl.
Yeah.
Like, if my person is good and I'm good, we're good. You know, I don't get into these internet battles. Like, at this point in my life, everything I have is paid for. So I don't have debt.
You better.
Right?
Okay.
So at this point, at this big age here,
yeah,
I don't think that we should be discussing rent.
50-50.
Rent?
We're not having those conversations.
We're not. Like, you know, we should be well past that at my big age. And I think that ladies, you have to stop allowing the internet to fix and, you know, just kind of create your life.
Like dictate.
Yeah, because you'll be out here thinking like, oh, I'm not going 50-50 and I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that. And you can be giving the man a hard time at that moment. And then a year or two, he can blow. And then he be out here a multimillionaire, and because you couldn't give him 12 months to get his life together, or you didn't believe in him and you didn't have faith in him, you might have just missed out on the train. At my big age, and I'm speaking for myself, where I am, right? I know that I would only attract a successful man, right?
Yeah.
And success is not just a dollar amount.
Yes.
Success is a mindset. Now, he may not have reached his multi-million-dollar thing, right? But ladies, give him a chance.
Give him a minute.
Right? Is he consistent? Is he working hard?
Daily.
Is he trying to build something? I'm not talking about old boy that's just doing a lot of talking, right?
Just in meetings after meetings, and the meetings never produce
that
any
part.
result.
I'm talking about
not those guys.
Someone who you see doing the work. Just relax, right? And if you feel like you don't have the patience for that, then go get your super baller, right? But let me just say this. I have seen the girls who are with the ones that are standing in front of every car that they have on social media, right? Most of the time, there's a price that you are paying when you want to be with Mr. Flashy with the 5 million followers on Instagram, and he's using all the things that he's, doing to and for you on social media to attract the people, right? There's a price that we pay when you deal with those kind of people. So I say, for me, I don't need it to be set on Front Street. I don't need a flash. I don't need all of that for my person. I really like a, nice low key, chill, who got it. The world ain't got to know.
Yeah. I don't necessarily have like such a set in stone type in terms of, I just don't have a set in stone type for real. Yeah. For me, it's about like my person treats me or will treat me the way that I desire to be treated. I have been engaged. I have purchased a home, with someone and almost married, all the things. And never in the history of my relationships have I ever had a conversation about a 50-50 relationship. These were just, but we both contributed, in our own way. And it may not have always been us giving the exact same dollar amount toward things, but we had our way in which my person gave 100% and I gave 100%, right? It's not about, for me, it's not really about what you do for a living, but my type would include a person who can take care of himself, right? You can take care of yourself. You are ambitious. You want more for your life. You want more for me. Like, we dream together, we visualize, and that's something that I love to do with a man. Like, let's just talk about the future and what do you see? Are you speaking in terms of us, and are you speaking in terms of upgrade and abundance and not being comfortable and complacent in certain spaces? Those are the things that do it for me more than a physical type.
Or the monetary side.
Or the monetary type.
It's like, I'm not looking for a sponsor. I'm looking for a partner, and that was my thing for me. Yeah. I didn't want a sponsor. I'm not trying to get flued out. Like, I want a partner. Yeah. That I could build with.
Build something together. That's, the older you get, your priorities just shift. Yeah. And, I'll say about myself, even when I was younger, like 20 years ago, I still wasn't looking for a sponsor. Yeah.
And I'm not looking. So,
yeah, well, I love that for you, right? I love that for you. However, I do love that for you, but there's never been a point in my life where someone sponsoring me was important.
It's not.
Because I've really kind of always had me, or always had a plan, right? One of the sexiest things about a potential partner for me is having the ability for us to build something together and look back and say, like, yeah, we did that.
Yeah.
Like, look at what we did.
I was having a conversation last week, and I was just saying that, I think on the internet, I see so many messages and just posts from like guys like, oh, you're going to end up alone by yourself if you keep being this way. And I'm like, can we stop trying to make women think that their value in everything that they have, own, and possess is based on a wedding ring?
Mm-hmm. That part, Ronnie, that part. Like,
we have that?
We have more value than just being somebody's wife.
Yeah. And I think that what frustrates me is, like, I think marriage is a beautiful thing.
For sure.
It is. I love love. I'm a lover girl. I am a loved woman. Mm-hmm. All right. But I am so thankful that what I attract and what I have attracted into my life is the kind of people who love me in a way where they love the fact that I know who I am outside of a partnership.
Oh, yes.
Because let me just say this. The thing that kind of drives me insane is that every area that a woman is glorified in is only areas where she is serving or pouring into someone else. Mm-hmm. Motherhood is glorified. Mm-hmm. Being a wife is glorified. Yep. But what about just being whole with yourself? I think that so many women struggle because they are so much to everyone else, but no one glorifies them having their own identity and knowing who they are and loving themselves and knowing themselves, because your whole life is you discovering someone else and being that partner to someone else, being a mom, being a wife. But can we just glorify women who are confident, who don't need company and people and a person, and she's so whole that when she finally finds that person, she's just gonna be happy because she's whole within herself and she loves herself first.
And not guilting women into transforming into a version of themselves that they don't desire to be. My whole brand started in the coaching space, focusing on women who were looking for significance. These were married women and mothers who were looking to find their significance again. They wanted their voice. Like, they loved being moms and they were happy being wives, but they felt so insignificant, like they lost themselves.
Because you lose yourself.
You lose yourself. And they came to me because they wanted to rediscover a talent or a gift, and how do I do it? And oftentimes their husbands championed that, like, a lot. And I'll say this too, especially to women. I personally have never encountered a man that I find desirable speaking to a woman about why she isn't valuable.
Yeah, me either.
I've never, the men who discuss that narrative, I don't find any of them desirable, and I don't expect them to find me desirable. And that's one thing that we have to kind of take ownership of. Like, why are we worried about people who we would never even give an opportunity to telling us how valueless we are? The men that you actually want to date, they don't speak that way.
They don't even talk about that kind of stuff.
They don't talk about that. They are looking for ways. They're eager to invest in, introduce you to, expose you to, elevate you. Those are the women, and those are the men, and those are the only men whose energy I desire to even be around. I want to have conversations with them.
Yes. Get me away from all the other ones.
Get me away from
because
right
now
of the
everyone
viral
has a
moments.
podcast microphone talking about nothing.
Get me away from all the guys who just want to go viral, and and even more sadder than that, are the women who have been convinced that those things, those devaluing beliefs and statements are, number one, true and real about themselves.
They are not true when you are dealing with a man who is dominant, a man who knows who he is, a man who loves his mother, who loves his sisters, who is family oriented, all right, who values family. They just don't talk like that.
Real alpha men are so secure in themselves that they're like, also
baby, go
eager.
do your thing.
They want you, babe. What you got going on today? You got any meetings? You have this going on? You got projects? You and your girls going on a trip? I see you. Okay, boss. I love that. Can I help you speak at your event? You need me to carry something? Set something up for you? They're waiting for you to get off stage with flowers. These are real
out here.
These are real alpha men, and they're available. They're out here. They're looking for you. They're eager to have you. They're also looking for a woman that exudes that same level of maturity and confidence and eagerness in them too. These other men, I'm telling you, who are speaking that other way, that's not alpha. It's not those men that are demanding that they're the only voice you hear and you're super available. That's toxic masculinity. That's not an alpha man. And I just hope for men that they feel safe enough to be secure in not what society thinks their woman should be, but what actually works in the house. Like, I want you to feel safe enough around your person, your woman, where you can lay your head on her shoulder comfortably and with confidence and still feel like a man. She can go out there and she can be a contributor to that household and you still feel like a man. You can champion her and cheer for her. She might even exceed beyond you for a little while in making money, or maybe even permanently in the relationship, but you still feel good. And I want for every woman to experience the man who highlights the best of her.
And can we just take so much of our ego out of money?
Can we just take our ego out of money?
That money gives people a false sense of security. That's not reality. And money comes and goes. You can be up 1 minute and you can be down the next. And I just want to stress, like, we cannot have, if your confidence is rooted and money,
Yes.
you won't be confident for long.
Mm-hmm. And you'll know if you're confident, if when you're challenged, right, facing the toughest challenge of your life, when you are down to your most natural state, your most natural, most organic state, when maybe you've even been stripped of the possessions that made you feel so whole, and you can still show your face, you can talk about it, you can teach and help other people, that's when you know that you actually are confident.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not superficial. Girl, look.
We can go on.
We can go on and on and on. I gotta get you back out here soon.
Yes.
Because we deserve a part 2.
Yes.
I love talking to you, Ronnie.
I love talking to you too.
Yes, yes, yes. If you could close us out with any words, I know that you empower women. This audience is full of women and men.
Okay.
Who are eager to hear from the Ronnie Brown. Like, they're like, Ronnie, look, I love the way you think. I love the way you talk. I love the way you are poised and how you carry yourself. How can I have that confidence and go out and build a business, be successful, have successful relationships? What would you say to them?
I would say that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. I would say that it's never too late. You know, I hear people say, I missed my chance. I missed the bus. It's too late. It's never too late. It doesn't have to be perfect. Use what you have now. If you have that cell phone in front of you and you want to build a brand, pick it up every day, turn that video on, put your content out there, be your authentic self. Your life can change. I also want to say, forgive yourself. You know, we often think that so much of our success is rooted in what we are doing, but internally people are battling with childhood trauma, things that have hurt them, things that they have not let go of. Let it go. Forgive whoever it was so that you can move on. Some of these situations that a lot of people battle with, they're living rent free in your head, right? Release it. Move forward so you can get what's for you and understand that you can do anything. If God has given you the vision, you dreamed about it, you've daydreamed about it, you've been able to visualize it, it's for you and it's possible. It's just a glimpse of what you can actually obtain. So I just want to say, like, it's not too late. It's not too late. Go do it.
You make me want to grab a cup of tea and come sit on your sofa and lay on your lap and let you play with my braids while you just talk to me about loving myself.
Yes, you have to.
That's how you make. I just want to lay there and just rubbing my hair and talk to me about loving myself, Ronnie Brown.
You gotta love yourself.
We gotta do a love yourself intentional call at least once a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, we live in 2 different states, but we can encourage each other to love ourselves and the people around us a little better.
Yeah.
A little bit more intentionally every single month.
And people can feel, I'm with it. People can feel when you love yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you ask me, like, when did you get into that feminine, soft, or how do you attract that? Because I started to love myself. And once I started to love myself, I attracted love into my life. So you got to love yourself.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the girl CEO herself, all of her details will be found in the description of wherever you are listening to or watching this video. Make sure you plug in with Ronnie. I love her, and I hope you guys love her too.
Love y'all.
Ronnie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, sis.
As usual, comment, what was the biggest takeaway for you from this episode? What stood out? Her journey? Was it her challenges? Was it overcoming challenges of what other people might think of you, loving yourself? What is something that stood out for you in this episode so we know when we do part 2 where to start? I will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.